My dog,
Got a whole
my
professional setup, man.
I ain't got no professional setup, man. This is this is a rental. So I mean, as soon as this is over,
Jeez, man.
what's
Dallas.
up, man?
Doing good, man. How are you? Have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good, dog. In this time, can't really complain.
Still
What you
working
been
like
up to?
still working like crazy?
Man, you have no idea, dog. It's like nothing really changed for me, man.
That's exactly how it is for me. I got
Yeah,
busier.
that's how I feel too, low key. And it's like, man, I know for us, man, like this would be a dream just to stay inside and not do nothing.
Our days off for like between games when we were on the road, we would literally do absolutely nothing.
100%, man. 100%. Those were the days, though, man. Those were the days. Hey, man, I know you're busy and stuff, so I won't take too much of your time, since it is the TG, ladies and gentlemen. The
Man,
TG. This dude, man, is considered a brother to me, man. We've been through the trenches, on and off the court, man, and now he has his own weight training business. He's a preacher, he's an evangelist, he gets you to shout, you know what I'm saying? And he's also a huge mentor. He's one of the wisest people I know personally, and his whole family is like that. But Tanner's the
man.
one I'm closer to. So
I
I mean,
appreciate
that's
it.
why.
I'm gonna say exactly what you would say in response to that. Man, I'm just trying to be like you.
Ah, heck no, man! You surpassed me. I look up to you. It's crazy how mercy. It's crazy how like you're younger, but I still look up to you. But we'll get into all that later, man.
Yeah,
But
man.
first off, man, post basketball life, man. You start a business. You travel more. You went and got married, man. Go ahead and go into tell us about that, man.
Man, post basketball life is awesome. Honestly, my last like 2, 3 years of basketball, I was over it.
Yeah.
Like over it. Honestly, I wasn't gonna play my last year,
Yeah.
but no, I kind of had like a year and a half where I was like legit bitter at basketball. Like
Hmm.
the group chat would be talking about the NBA and stuff, and I wouldn't even respond. Like, no, I wouldn't say a thing because honestly, I was sick of it. Like I've played since I was like 3, 4 years old,
Yeah.
every year my entire life. So I didn't want to. Like I was sick of basketball. We ended on a high note, but
Yeah, we did.
honestly, like I was sick of it. And so like everyone would ask, "Hey, you want to come play pickup?" I'm like, Absolutely not. I don't even want to touch a basketball." But no, I had to go through honestly like a healing process because God did a lot of good things like through basketball. Like honestly, we wouldn't be as close as we are if it wasn't for basketball. Like most of my friends are because of basketball.
Yeah,
You
that's
there?
true, man. Yeah, I got you now, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, most of my friends are basketball. Like exactly. But no, post basketball life is good. Really, I feel like a straight grown adult. Like 100% grown up.
Yeah, bro. I see it, man, because dude, man, basketball dog, and seeing you now with like a house, a wife, and like Squidward bills.
Yeah, man. Gotta work and pay bills.
That's crazy. I remember we used to work just to get shoes or just to get
Bro,
socks, NBA, the old school NBA socks.
bro, all right, so before I got married, like I had already given away like half of my basketball
Yeah.
shoe collection. And before I got married, Shiloh and I went through my shoes and I legit had still over 80 pair.
Hey, I can't even look at you crazy, man. I'm looking at 60 just in
But see, the thing is, what's
that
gonna
was
happen?
big. Go ahead, go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, like, what's gonna happen when you get married? Like, you can't take over the closet.
Hey, man, that's when I'll send them to Dwayne. I'll send
Oh my goodness. Oh
I'll
my
send them to
goodness.
Dwayne, man, and he'll do with them what he may. And man, dude, basketball, man, because I know for a while it's crazy how our basketball careers came back. You know what I'm saying? Because we started at BA with good old,
Or we started before
BA
that.
or Salvation Army. Yeah, we started
Yeah.
Salvation Army.
I still have pictures of us.
Hey man, that's stuff you don't need to release though. Good, go ahead and do all that stuff. But you were always. I tell people to this day, man, you were my best teammate. Just
Man,
because like we clashed, but at the end of the day, like we clashed early. Like we would go at it, but at the end of the day, we would always make sure we were still on the right path and like
yeah.
that. None of the beef we had left the court or even stayed. It was just like, all right, two giants going at it, and
Yeah, I
you
agree.
know,
I don't think it was beef. It was just like both of us knew like the position we had, and so
yeah.
we just wanted to make each other better. And and honestly, like you would just get mad at me because like here's how I see it. Here's how I see it. You had all the talent. I had to work my tail off to even get close to where you're at. And so like for me to stay with you, I'm always having to work hard. And so that's why you would get mad at me is because like I can't like slack off and be where you're at.
Nah, it was
And so
never
you're like,
like that.
this
I
dude
was trying
never
to chase you.
quits.
Oh yeah, that's 100%, man. And we'll get into the bloopers and all that stuff later, man. But that's a great transitioning statement to get us, man, to our next point of
Yeah.
with you starting this business of training and stuff like that. What did that come from? Like, what kind of inspired you to do that? Because I know you're a workhorse, so I
Yeah.
wasn't surprised. But what really inspired you to kind of pursue it?
Man, you remember we used to work out like way back in the day when we were in high school at the NRC sometimes.
Yeah,
Like me, you, and Huff used to do that. But I started getting into it honestly like my when I was like 16 at BA. We used to go work out in the mornings with Wojo
yeah,
early morning.
Rojo, Rojo.
Yeah. But no, I started getting into it then just to add size for basketball. Honestly, that's why I started training was just to supplement, like get stronger, get better at basketball. But then from there, like I fell in love with the process.
Hmm.
And I started learning like not just am I like getting muscles, but I'm learning spiritual things through this. And I'm able like God's able to teach me things through like the process. Like
It's real.
there's so much that you learn just by tearing yourself down and building yourself back up, and that's what working out is. And you humble yourself really really quick in the weight room because the
Hey,
thing
that's
is
a very
it's
good
so
point.
true in life and it's true in the weight room. The weight is always the same. When I go back down there tomorrow morning, those 45-pound plates are 45 pounds. And just because I come in, maybe I didn't get as much sleep, maybe I didn't eat as much, just because I feel different, that's the same. And so life is that way too. I've got, no matter what's been going on in my day, I've got to come in, you know what, this is the same. I've got to put in work.
Yeah, that's so true, man. And it's
Yeah.
crazy you say that too because even when with me post basketball entering this realm of music, something
Yeah.
completely different. But like I remember us like always training, and it's like the mentality, like that Mamba mentality of like,
For real.
okay, like this situation won't change unless my mindset change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to push through the, for lack of better word terms, the crap. I'll say
Yeah.
crap, but like, like you said, the weight doesn't change and like the situation doesn't change, but your mindset and your drive has to change and
Yeah.
eventually like it has to click, man. So yeah, you did that. You started that, man, because it's all crazy, man, because I remember lifting with you and you was about the size of a music stand. You know what I'm saying? You was,
I still am, man.
no, you're not, man. Now you look like Rocky and when he fought the Russian. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
But it's and ever since then, like even when you were skinny, you still had that drive, you had that push, you had like because you were always competitive. That
Yeah.
runs in your family. Like
Yeah.
your dad's competitive. I can see your mom's competitive because at games they'll be yelling loud in the refs. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, "Who said that?" Oh, it was just pops up there. But what really like and I know I learned to push myself from Kobe and like from influences like you and mentors around me. What really was like your edge that really made you kind of push?
Yeah, I would agree with you. Like just growing up watching like Michael Jordan and Kobe, like
Mm,
the athletes that we looked up to, you could see like how good they were and the people around them, they worked hard, but
yeah,
it's just that extra edge. I would say that, but then the other thing, like I played sports. That's all I did, baseball and basketball. You get humbled really quick. When
yep,
you play a team sport, you get humbled really, really quick, and you realize, oh, I'm not just the best at everything. Especially when you start like playing like up in age division, up in age group, you get humbled very, very fast. And so for me, that's probably what got me. The other thing too is just watching
mm,
seeing my parents how they do life, and the training business for me kind of like transitions over into ministry, because when I'm training people, what I don't see just like, oh, they're losing weight or they're gaining muscle. I see they're becoming the best version of themselves.
yeah,
And so that's what I want to do in life. That's what I want to do in ministry. So everything I do, this all ties together. That I want people to be the best version, be the person that God created them to be.
yeah. That's real, and you see it in your training. You see it in, and you're not like one of those aggressive trainers that are just like, man, you better do this, or you're gonna look like Queen Latifah, or like you know the Nutty Professor or something like that. You're just like you do everything with love. Like everything you do comes from a good place. You know what I'm saying? Even in
Yeah,
basketball, like when me and you would go at it, like I'm coming at you like ticked. Like I'm coming at you because I'm trying to win. I'm trying to cut your throat. And like
yeah,
you'll do the same thing to me, but at the end of the day, I know you're not pushing me to be better than me and like
yeah,
to make me look dumb. You're literally pushing me like iron sharpens iron. You're pushing me to be better, and
yeah,
I'm pushing you, and that's why we work so well together on and off the court. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So what would
I
you
think,
go ahead?
I think sometimes like people are too insecure and have too much of an ego, and like you don't need to have an ego in anything in life or be insecure about anything. At the end of the day, like no matter what it is, you can either let it make you better or like tear you down. So like just because I look at you as a basketball player when we were younger, and like I remember when you were a senior in high school and I was a sophomore, like if you were playing defense on me, I literally couldn't do anything. So
Oh,
I can either A, take that as I suck, he's way better than me, I can't do anything, or I can take that as I'm going to let that motivate me to be better.
hmm,
And I think there's a lot of like things in that in life that we need to have that same mindset. Just because you're not where you want to be or you see somebody better than you, in the Bible, Paul says, don't compare yourselves amongst each other. Because it's not everything's not a competition. Use it as fuel for you to get better. Let it motivate you, inspire you to be where they're at. Not, I'm so bad on this. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's Mamba mentality, man.
Exactly.
That's just the way we were raised. And man, I don't want to talk about basketball the whole time because we definitely have other subjects to talk about. But this is just,
Yeah.
it's just our lives. You know what I'm saying? For so long.
Yeah.
But like that's why I feel like today, people automatically think like a last name or like money or like shoes gets you, gifts or like
Yeah.
gets you like a position of success when you got to work for that junk, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's like weird seeing kids with natural talent, natural ability, or grown men for even that instance, like that have everything in the world, but they just think, oh, because it's easy to me, there's not another level. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think that's the disconnect kind of in generations where, old guys are in the gym like us, we're in the gym from 6 a.m. to 6. We're not just shooting, throwing up shots, then on
Yeah.
IG for 3 hours. We're doing drill, all right, weight room for the first hour, court, then we're going back and forth, eat, come back. You know what I'm saying? That's just what we did. And now it's just like,
Yeah.
hey, I got some Kobe, so I should start. You know what I'm saying? And that's just,
Yeah.
my opinion behind it. But shoot,
Yeah.
man. Um, that brings me to my next, question, man, that I wanted. You're the perfect person for this question, or actually these
Yeah,
rest of these questions, because like, like I said, you see everything with love, and it
yeah,
always comes from a good place. And your dad's good about that. Your mom especially, like the way her people
yeah.
skills is just like untouchable. So, what do you think? And be honest, because this is the raw and uncut. You know what I'm saying? So,
I got you. I got
all
you.
right. What do you think is the disconnect in the church between the young people and the old people? Like, why do you think we clash so much?
Mm, honestly, I would say respect both ways. So, for instance, think about it like this. As a young person, I'll take me for example. As a young person, if I'm not respected, if the older generation doesn't respect me, they don't value me. They don't value what I say. They don't value the gifts of God within me. They don't value anything about me because why? Because I'm young. And
Mm,
so I feel disrespected from them. And then the flip side is, as a young generation, if we don't respect our elders, if we don't respect those before us, even if we don't agree with them, even if they're goofy, even if they're crazy, if we don't submit and respect them, they feel disrespected and then they can't lead us how they should. And so I think that's probably a huge reason for contention in the church.
okay. I mean, we're not just going to leave this topic, but I mean, I think that's spot on. I think you're holding both sides accountable, and I mean, you're right, man. Because you look at us and
Yeah.
we're like, man, why are we doing, Mighty Warrior? Like this song's from, you know what I'm saying? And it's like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they're yelling at us. They're like, turn that down. Like that's too loud. That's too
Yeah.
fast. Like there's too many words.
Yeah.
And I do think it's about like gelling and understanding each other and kind of just like seeing, kind of recognizing that we're all on the same team here and trying to trying to like build each other to the ultimate goal of getting lives, healed,
Yeah.
seeing people saved and all that kind of stuff. So I want you to elaborate more on that because I feel like,
Yeah. I don't think anybody's wrong. I think the
okay,
main thing, I think the main issue is you got to look at yourself before you look at anybody else. And so, for instance, like with me, do I want to be at this church because I know God called me here, or do I want to be here because it's the place that everybody is? And so, I'm telling you, God places you in a church, in a body, in a local place for the gifts that are within you, not for the IG likes, not for how this is going to turn out, not for how cool it is. He places you somewhere because he's put something in you that's needed in that flock. And so if I have an ego, I'm going to let what other people do affect where God's called me. Whereas if I don't have an ego, I'm okay to say, you know what, this doesn't look cool. This doesn't look like what everybody else is doing, but I'm going to be here and I'm going to be part of the change. I'm going to help God's plan through all of this happen. I'm not going to talk bad about anybody else in this church. I'm not just going to blindly just follow people. No, I'm going to respect the position that God has given other people, but I'm going to submit myself. I'm not gonna always be gossiping about what everybody else is doing. I'm gonna submit myself and be a part of the change. And I think, especially us younger generation, if we're able to do that, it helps the older generation because then they respect us and we're able to throw our 2 cents in. Does that make
that's
sense?
that makes a lot of sense. That's completely, yes, sir. Like I think that's spot on. I think
Yeah.
that's extremely spot on. 'Cause I feel like, and one thing you've taught me, and I've learned, from previous examples and stuff, like when people just follow the crowd, people go to different, things just for the IG likes, like what you said, it's a
Yeah.
loss of identity. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like an identity thing of I don't know who I am, so I'm gonna find who I am in this crowd. And to me,
Yeah.
like, I mean, we all struggle with stuff. Like, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, nobody's perfect. But to me, like, that kind of identity reflects like a chameleon, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. Like, chameleons, they don't follow anybody, but like they blend in with their surroundings. So to
Yeah.
me, in my personal opinion, it's like if God put you here to be different and you're just blending in with your surroundings because you don't want to get attacked, aka like hunted, attacked by friends or people, then you're kind of not wasting, but you're kind of not doing what God has called you to do. And I mean, for a lot of us, it takes a while. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It takes a while. And I think eventually you just have to sit down and really find who you are. Like
Yeah.
Rafiki, like, know who you are. Like,
No,
but
you're
it's a
right
fact.
though. You got to be secure. You got to be secure in your identity. Because if you're not, you're going to be tossed by every little thing that happens.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I heard somebody said this on, I saw it on Facebook a while ago. I don't remember exactly who it was, but they said you need to serve at a church long enough to get offended and stay.
shoot, man.
Yeah.
um, that's a nugget that I don't appreciate, but you know what I'm saying? That's what life's about, man. But
No,
I
but
wanna
I do think respect is the main issue.
mhm,
Respect. I think like it's easy to point fingers and you save yourself a lot when you can just look yourself in the mirror. Like you can't control other people. You can only control you. Like you can't control what happens to you. You can't control the situation. But you can always control how you respond.
yeah, no, that's
Always.
real. That's 100%. So I kind of want to transition into this,
Yeah, man.
since and I need you to be as honest as you can. You know, that's why I have you on here. So
You know I'll
like you're
be
saying
honest,
about
man.
respect. Yeah, I know. I just had to make sure you. I had to make sure you knew. I had to make sure you know. But man, one thing about like as you said, respect and all that stuff. One thing I really noticed with you and your family, like they don't really see like everything to them is just like black and white. Like everything's the same. Everything like they treat people the same. They treat people with love. They don't see like even if you're acting funny, like if you're like a Dwayne, you know what I'm saying? They still, hey Dwayne, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? And like your dad, dude, I admire your dad so much because like he was raised in a certain culture where I mean, people of color weren't really like looked up to in a sense or like
Yeah.
treated the same. And like for him to kind of pass down to you like the mindset of love and don't see color. And I hear him talk about him and your mom, like for him to not see color and not see skin, not see, culture, all that kind of stuff. It's real encouraging that it's not like you're not born with it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's definitely taught. So what kind of like I know you can't really speak for him, but what kind of message like did he kind of pass down to you to kind of get you into the mindset of like loving all colors and people and stuff?
Yeah. Well, I remember like even as a young kid, my dad would never say like he would never describe you as like, "Oh, yeah, Dallas, that black guy." Like my dad would never say that. My dad would always try to describe your attributes like not based on color. Like he would never say like that Chinese guy or that black guy. He would never describe somebody like that. It was never about race. And I remember that as a young kid. My mom tells a story when like obviously I'm talking about basketball again, but when we were playing basketball, I was like, "Did you see that kid today?" And they were like, "Which kid?" And I was like, the kid with the orange shoes." And they were like, "Which one was that?" And I noticed the shoes, and it was a black kid, but I didn't say like the one black kid on the team. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I didn't even see that, and so I was raised in that. But as I've gotten older, I've really through like scripture and just talking to my parents, really seen why. And one thing that really helped my dad was he started going to Kenya in 1996, and so he started taking mission trips over there and really getting involved with the people. And one of the things that happened was they in like I think it was like the 2000s they had like tribal wars, like legit, like through the presidential thing they had like legit country tribal wars. And so like the different tribes within Kenya were literally killing each other because they were a different tribe. And so like there would be like neighbors, like they lived next to each other, that they lived next to each other their whole lives. Their kids played out in the yard together, everything like that. When the tribal war happened, these families turned against each other and were killing each other.
Dang.
Same color. They look the exact same color skin, everything, but they're a different tribe, and they started killing each other based on it. And so one of the things that's with that is like that's another country. In America, we've definitely had our race issues in our history, but it's not a race issue. It's a heart issue. It's not a skin color issue. It's not a because think it they're the same exact color of skin, everything like that. It's a heart issue, and it's something that only can be cured through the gospel. It can only be cured when you have the same heart that God has. Because in Scripture, there's multiple places. Galatians says that we're all one in Christ. In 2 Corinthians 5, it says, regard no one after the flesh. And in the Amplified, it says, as human standards. Human
Yep.
standards of value. Don't look
Yep.
at anybody based on that. And so, like, the thing is, like, if I define myself based on any attribute, based on my job, based on my skin color, based on my hobby, based on my relationship status, anything, how much money I have, anything, it's wrong. I can only find my value, my identity through Christ. And once you're able to do that, you then get in relationship with God and realize, wait, God sees everybody like this. He paid the highest price, his son's life, for every single person. So that
Mm-hmm.
means what? Their value's the same. Their identity's the same in him. And so that's that's the heart that we have is like, listen, I don't care what color skin you have. I don't care what job you have. I don't care what you look like, what your hair color is, where you went to school. I don't care any of that. I see you the way God sees you. You're worth his son's blood.
Man, that's a
Yeah.
nugget, man. That is a nugget. That's why I chose you to kind of answer this and kind of because most people tiptoe
Yeah.
around it, man. But it's like even the church now, you can sense a little like like people being uncomfortable around certain people. But you know, it's
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, it's like you got to see them how God sees them, and like even so many white people, you know, you think like I get treated the best and like I get like I'm accepted around everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm accepted around, but in
Yeah.
actuality, like I walk around church and like I see people clench their purse and I see people like give you the, you know what I'm saying? And it's just
Yeah.
like you have to understand like for me personally, it's like we're all supposed to be one. We're all supposed to be like the body of Christ. We're all children. Like Jesus died for all of us equally. You know what I'm saying? And like to see
Yeah.
that
Exactly.
and for it, you know, not to be, you know, of course, you know, you don't want to start like race riots and stuff like that. But for me, I
Yeah.
personally have to remember like, man, you know, I can't control how they feel. I can't
Yeah.
control how they act around me. All I can do is control me, and all I can do is keep being me. Because at the end of the day, like me being me is easier than me trying to please you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I lose myself trying to please you, and then it's just a whole identity crisis, literally, man.
Yeah.
So
And I
like,
think that's so good that you said that because going forward, we won't be able to become one like Jesus prayed that we would become one, unified together. We won't be able to do that if you're going into situations with a victim's mentality or prejudice against somebody or like, I don't know, I'm on edge. We're not able to become one like he called us to be. You know what I mean?
no, that's
So I
real.
I think that's really important that like we don't see anybody after their flesh, after their hair color, skin color, anything. We don't regard anybody as human standards. And that's hard because we live in this world. That's literally how everything is described. We like think about it. Like it's so important. Where are you from? What race are you? where are your parents from? What's your ancestry? That's the number one thing people want to know, your heritage. That's not our heritage. Our heritage is him.
That's a fact, man. That is a
Yeah.
100% fact. Man, I don't want to take too much of your time, man, but I definitely, and this is all just a preview because when, all this is over, we're gonna get together and we're actually gonna sit down and conversate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for being you, for you not losing yourself amongst everything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like next time we do this, we'll kind of get into your testimony a little bit. We'll kind of get into, what really defined, TG, what really made TG TG, you know what I'm saying? But dude, I really
Man.
appreciate this, man. This is love, man. I got the celebrity TG3, on live, man, and it is blessed me. I've been blessed
Man.
tremendously.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. I'm excited for what you're doing. Honestly, like when I look back at one thing that inspires me about you is like how you stuck with music because you could have gave it up real easy. But you know that God has placed a gift within you. Now, does that mean that like you're the best drummer right off the bat because God gave you a gift? No. But you didn't let that gift just go away. You stirred it up. And like the amount of work you put in is just inspiring. It's inspiring.
Man, man, but I'm just chasing you, Doug. I'm just trying to be what was passed down to me, man, because like like what we know is supposed to be passed down. Like what we know is supposed to be spread out, you know what I'm saying? We're not supposed to hold on to that kind of stuff. And man, you're gonna make me blush on my own show, man. You know what I'm saying? So I mean it's not really a show, but my last segment, man,
What's your show called, man?
it'll be called, I guess this will be an announcement thing. So it'll be called The Shed. It'll be called The Shed because, when I first got into music, Marquise James, and I tried to go this whole show without saying that God forsaken name, you know what I'm saying? But when we first started playing drums and stuff, when he first started teaching me, he would always take me up to the studio and we would shed. Like that's when you really like work things out. That's when you really like get exposed because it's you
Yeah,
and like two other or one other dope drummer or like everyone in the
yeah,
room is dope, and you really have to, it really opens your eyes to things. Like it really puts you out there and it could be a wake up call, or it can be, all right, this isn't for me. You know what I'm saying? But that's why
yeah.
I'm naming it The Shed, and I kind of want it to be, just real conversations, not, lovey-dovey, all that kind of stuff. And that's why I chose you to be on here, man, and you will definitely be on in the future when all this is said and done, when we can actually sit down and conversate and all that kind of stuff. So I'm extremely excited. This is all just a preview. And I just want to brag on you some more, man. I know you got to go, but if y'all don't follow Tanner, you need to follow him. Shout out to Gregurich Ministries, him, his dad, his mom, especially. His mom is a phenomenal teacher. People
The
skills
best.
is just I don't know. I don't know. That's like the one class that one of the many I paid attention to already, you know what I'm saying? But that one stuck out to me. That one, and then Josh, his cousin Josh, hey, shout out to the engagement. You know what I'm saying? Proud of you, dog. Like, y'all need to follow Gregorich Ministries. They will change your life. And, man, stick with Tanner and his teaching and his, like, just how real him and his family is, man. So, shout out to them. And, shoot, man, I think that's a wrap, dog, unless you got anything you want to say.
That's it, man. I appreciate the love. Thanks for having me on the Shed preview.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Thanks for accepting the call. I thought you was gonna hit me with that Euro step, boy.
Yeah.
But no, I
Nah, man.
appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I love you, man.
Love you, brother. We'll do this again.
Yeah, see you.
All right.